ask you?
Just like that's a fun thing to talk about, and in normal everyday conversation, people don't like talking about that. So on here, I can just be like,
That's funny, man. That's all I ever talk about. Do you believe in heaven or hell, or do you just believe that it's total darkness, man? I'm not gonna hit you with any hard. I'm not gonna hit you with any hard shit, man. At first, you know, I'll see what you're about.
Okay, there's nothing that suggests to me that there's an afterlife. As far as my consciousness going, like my energy, maybe I'm not like that might happen.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, when someone dies, do you know that their body actually gets lighter? Scientifically, their body gets lighter. Something leaves their body.
You think that a soul leaves their body and that soul has weight?
I think it has weight because it's actually, it's like compressed. Like it's actually your real self, and this is just a shell. And the reason that you have weight is because of your soul. I actually do believe that. And your body gets like some percentage less of weight when you die. And it's kind of like, why is that, and how do you explain that if you don't believe that you leave your body when you die?
I could not explain that. I've never heard that before, and I couldn't explain that. Yeah, you got me there.
Got you on that one, right?
Up to this point in my life, I think that my part in this universe is, you know, I'm just part of this. Like, I'm a fucking blade of grass, I'm a tree, I'm an ant, I'm gonna die just like those things die, and my body will be recycled into the earth and used for energy or whatever later, maybe.
You will die, but
I will die, yeah.
Amazing it is to think of how did someone dying come to be? Like, the process of dying, the process of life, all of it, man. Really giving an answer of how it was created. I mean, you could say, like, people that are atheists believe that we came from animals, we came from the sea, right? And a fish turned into a lizard and whatever, right? Well, my question is, even if that happened, how is that possible from nothing?
There are a lot of steps in between, you know, nothing to life on Earth. Like, the planet formed over the course of millions of years, and then life in very rudimentary forms form. According, yeah. This is not me stating facts. According to people who believe in evolution, say.
Right. But for example, on that being said, though,
it's not like a fish turned into a lizard, and then a lizard turned into a monkey, and a monkey turned. Like, there are a lot of steps in between there.
Right.
You know.
But sure, because of like climate change and all that good shit, right? Yeah, like it would still be happening. It would.
What would?
Like
what?
The change out through animals becoming to a person. Why did it just stop at a certain point? Why did apes stay apes and we stay us for 5, 6, 700 years? You know?
Well, because that's how slow evolution is. But I mean, people are still evolving. Like, we have a tailbone. You can feel there's a bone there where a tail used to be, and we have evolved past that. And I mean, there are certain things that a human can't do very well that, a million years from now, who knows, evolution will take over.
Here's a funny question, though.
Okay.
People that believe in that would have to believe in something else out there, though, because that's kind of like the theory where people believe that we are aliens from the future. We are aliens because they don't have the tailbone. And that's us in the near future when we have enough technology to come back. So if you believe in evolution, you have to believe in not just what you see here.
Well,
one way or another, it's all about believing in something,
Yeah, I think that's true. Even aliens.
So do I.
I believe that the universe is so massive with so many stars that there are probably aliens out there. So what? I guess I'm not seeing where you're coming from. Are you a Christian?
A label, and I think that's really good because I don't judge people, and I hear people's point of views, and I've learned a lot in my life. But I do believe in God. I believe in what I see as is more accurate to be the truth, and out of personal experiences in my life. I've been with people, multiple people with different backgrounds, and I've seen things, man. I've seen things, and there's nothing that explains it more than what it is, and that's kind of where I have a lot of questions to ask people when they kind of jump to that subject, because I'm like, there's so much to be said. Like, you believe in an alien. I asked you, something leaves the body. So you say, okay, aliens exist. If evolution exists, it's a process, and there's a lot more out there, because if evolution is how we were created, then obviously there's more life out there, because we didn't just be created by nothing. So if it was evolution and life just appeared here, we're not special. There's no way that if it's not spiritual, then we're not special. If it's spiritual, then we're special, my friend. Like, we are the only ones like us. There's nothing else out there. But if you just believe in evolution, you have to believe that we are a small part of much more out there.
That's
right.
What I do.
Right. But here's the thing. Your body gets lighter when you die. And when you're abducted, there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of cases of people talking about when they're abducted by these aliens.
I talked to a guy on here who claimed to have been abducted.
Right, okay? I've talked to many of those people. They have like the mark on the back of their neck, that so many people have such familiar stories. The mark. If it was us in the future, why would we be experimenting and trying to reach something inside of the body? Why would we be taking things from the body? The number one thing that's very, very creepy about abductions is that they're trying to get into the brain, okay? And if you know a lot about like scrolls, not just the Bible in general, but like scrolls that are not in the Bible, you'll read up on how the human soul is in the middle of your head.
Well, of course, because that's what it seems like. If there was going to be a soul, it would be in our head, because that's where our thoughts are formed. That's what drives us. I mean, we can pinpoint our consciousness to our brain, and that feels a lot like a soul.
Right.
To me, here's I mean, just to kind of throw out some more things that I
Absolutely.
I respect what you said about. I mean, I respect people that are Christians or whatever faith as well, but I also I can really respect somebody who, especially somebody who, I mean, I don't know, do you call yourself a man of faith or like a spiritual person, like somebody who,
a believer is what I
believer,
say.
Okay.
I believe
yeah,
I believe in pretty much everything.
It seems like you haven't been told to believe this thing, therefore you believe that thing. Like, it seems like you've thought about it a lot and, you know, have come to your own conclusions. Yeah. You remind me of a friend of mine that he's one of the only people I can talk to in the real world about this kind of thing. But things like, he's had this feeling his whole life that there's something like greater than him, and, you know, kind of watching. I mean, I don't really know how to explain it. He like, basically he feels the presence of God, I guess is what he says, and he can't put his finger on what exactly some you know, Christian beliefs.
Sounds a lot like myself, man. My mother, this is the thing. My mother's a minister, but you always do kind of linger towards what you first knew. I think the funny thing is, though, is that I stuck to it more because of experiences in my life. But back to what I was saying real quick to put an end to that. An alien reaches the soul. That's what people that believe in a higher power and that things exist. So let's say these beings really came to Earth, and the government knows about it, and they visit or whatever, and they've been coming for millions of years. They built the pyramids, whatever. So let's say it was just proven 100% you believed in that with everything. Like, you didn't just believe in it, it was a fact. Like, it was all over the news, and there was aliens walking around and meeting people, whatever. But it goes back. Even if that were to happen, they do experiment on you and try to reach for something in the middle of the brain. The only way that makes sense to me is that they're reaching for the soul, because they don't have that knowledge, and they don't know how it exists or what God is. Or maybe they do know what God is, like a Nephilim. like maybe they are demons. A lot of people compare them to like otherworldly beings or other dimensional beings. So it's kind of funny that even if you believed in the deeper part of evolution, a lot of people that believe in evolution believe in the existence of aliens. That
Yeah, but wait. I have to stop you because
stop me there. Go ahead.
I do believe in evolution, and I also believe that it's very likely that there are other life forms out there, but I don't believe that there are aliens that the government knows about that come to Earth and prove, like, that's not what I believe.
Right.
You know, and just because I believe in evolution doesn't mean that I believe there are aliens coming and, you know, sticking things in people's brains.
The only reason that I believe that is because
Wait, so you believe there are aliens coming, like, to Earth?
Yes, I believe they've
really?
They've landed.
That's fucking interesting. I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, man. I mean, you hear, it's not only stories, it's like thousands of years, people say the same exact thing. It's not like a mental disability where you just immediately think these things came out of the sky and abducted you in your home.
No, I mean, there's video evidence of, you know, like I've read about California. I mean, there have been a few of just, you know, UFOs, huge fucking, like, lights, beams of light just flying over an entire state, and thousands and thousands and thousands of reportings of the. I mean, that shit is not made up.
It all goes back to believing. It's kind of funny. I don't believe it's possible in my personal life. I like, in my own way, I kind of just see the facts, see the truth behind it, and I know without a doubt that if it carries on for that amount of time, there ain't no way that there ain't truth behind it. Either it's like some conspiracy government, Illuminati type people dressing up in these ugly fucking masks or something, or people get abducted. But regardless of what the truth is, if you believe, to me, so you say you believe in aliens, you believe in evolution. To me, if you believe in an alien, you don't see the whole picture, because if you believed in other life forces, you would see from evidence of what's been said about them, they're other beings. They're from a different dimension, and it goes back to hell and demons. They love human suffering. Like, the biggest thing about those people that say we're dying, we're like getting cancer, and they experiment on us and they're taking away our life. These beings like human suffering, and human suffering is the thing that loves human suffering more than anything are demons. So it's kind of like, for you to just put all of that out, like, oh, like, maybe they'll like love us and they'll be like us and get to know them. We watch movies and like the aliens can be good or whatever, but stories, that's not the facts. The facts are they torture you and they haunt you and they ruin your life, and they basically own you. You can't get away from them.
What is their motivation to do these things?
I think they're trying to learn how God created life. They're trying to learn how we work, because there's nothing like us. If there was a way for them to get to the brain, they could just take your soul against God's will.
What motivates their hunger for human suffering? Like, as humans, as scientists, we do experimentation on animals that, you know, from an outsider's perspective might seem evil, but like, it's not that we're motivated by our thirst for blood. It's not like we like, I mean, some people, but I mean, as a society, we do these experiments so that we do learn things, and it's not like we like, you know, fucking seeing fish.
Animals. See, that's the funny thing, is you can say that, but if you look at it in that, where most people look at it, like an alien is another being and they're trying to learn, just like us. We're lower on the food chain, whatever. If you look at it in that light, it makes sense. Like, you can go, oh yeah, they do that because to them, we are just animals. We're very dumb compared to them. We don't know their technology, and they try to learn about us the way we learn about animals. But that it's directed towards the brain is all I'm talking about. That is directed to that. If it had to do with them being some other being as Nephilim or demon, it would be their goal would be to get your soul against God and take you to hell. against your will, like that, if they could find a way to reach the soul, they win. They even if you don't do wrong or you don't do anything wrong by God, they could get you anyway, and so they win. They would have all the souls, and no matter what you did in your life would not matter because they'll just take you against your will. Then I believe in God. I believe that God is created everything, being, you know, like anyone else that believes in God. He's just too above them, and they're never going to learn that, but that is their goal. Their goal is to constantly try to learn, and they just have fun out of human suffering, you know?
Scary, man. I've never heard a theory like that. That's kind of scary.
I do.
I hope you're wrong about that.
I wish
but,
I,
you know.
see, this is what I would say to you, except I'm a stranger and you'll think what you want. I wish I was wrong.